Hi, Jakob Stief here, the long-haired freaky dude. Today I'm going to review the ancient Grecian comedy, Acharnians, by our favorite father of comedy, Aristophanes, translated into English by Benjamin Bickley Rogers. This is the first of the ancient Greek comedies that I have read, and I must say, it is quite a relief to read something that isn't about mother raping or father stabbing, something whose sole purpose is to bring about joy, laughter, and of course, crude criticism. I'll start off by saying that the humor here is not lost on the modern reader. It's not something that you need to be 2,400 years old to understand and laugh at. No. In fact, the moment I started reading this, I was quite shocked at how similar the humor from this play, written thousands of years ago, is to the same humor that we have today in our modern books. The very first thing that came to mind when I started reading this was like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and Catch-22. It's that kind of humor. So as long as you go into this with the proper context and an open mind, you may just find yourself laughing your ass off. So the Acharnians, it's just as ludicrous and random and as absurd as we could possibly want it to be, but that is what makes it beautiful, my friends. So first, let's put it into a little context. The Peloponnesian War, you know, the one betwixt the Athenians and the Spartans, that's been going on for quite some time now, quite a few years. So the intended audience of this play was the war-tired Athenians. So this takes place in what was then modern-day Athens when the war was in full swing. And this play follows an otherwise normal Athenian named Jakob, who is just as tired of war as the next Athenian. All he wants is peace, man. And he's also a very sassy character, which is great. You know, just listen to this.
By heaven, my man, you wear a warship look. What? Do you round the point and spy the docks? Is that an oil pad underneath your eye?
I love the way he talks. It's fantastic. He tries to speak peace to a group of people at an Athenian assembly, an Athenian council, but you know, all he gets is a Persian who speaks gibberish. The gibberish dialogue is hilarious. It's hilarious. And then, you know, there's a man who angrily tries to steal his lunch. In this lunch stealing scene, I really wondered how much we're missing out on, how much of the comical stuff we're missing out on by reading a translation and not, you know, the original Greek language version. Because, you know, I don't imagine puns can really be translated over that well. Here's a pun that I about died at, you know, internally here, dealing with the lunch scene. I wonder if it was intended.
You rapscallion! How dare you touch them when they're garlic primed?
Get it? Rapscallion garlic! I see what you did there! You know, rapscallion is a mischievous person, but scallion, take off the rap part, the scallion, you know, garlic is a scallion. Anyways, after the unsuccessful council, a man who claims to be immortal, Amphitheus, comes up and talks to Jakob. And he claims that he can offer a sort of personal, private peace treaty with him between Sparta, and that will only apply to him. Jakob physically tastes the treaties that Amphitheus has to offer, 5-year, 10-year, and 30-year, and Jakob decides that the 30-year peace treaty, both in naval and on land, tastes the best. So he decides to buy the 30-year private peace treaty between himself only and the entire nation of Sparta. It turns out Amphitheus was telling the truth and indeed sold him a 30-year peace treaty between himself only and Sparta. So meanwhile, while everyone else in Athens is fighting Sparta, he is able to enjoy the benefits of peace with them, much to the chagrin of his fellow citizens. The Acharnians, people of Marathon, are particularly angry at Jakob because they are very angry at Sparta. They have a bone to pick with them because the Spartans have just ransacked their vineyards so many times they are not willing to forgive. And they don't want Jakob to forgive either, so naturally they just run up on him with pitchforks and torches and they're ready to kill him in an angry mob. Hang up high! But Jakob has a trick up. I don't have a sleeve on, but he had sleeves on and he had a trick up it. He takes none other than a bag of Acharnian charcoal hostage. Yes, I said charcoal. And all the Acharnians turn in fear, and they let Jakob go and spare him his life because they don't want anything bad to happen to this poor, helpless bag of charcoal. I mean, I know people have their fetishes, man, but charcoal? Come on. This is one of those cases where I feel like there used to be a pun, but it got lost in the translation. I mean, Acharnian sort of sounds like charcoal. You know, it's got that same ring to it. Anyways, he surrenders the charcoal in turn for peace with the Acharnians, but he wants a little more than peace. He wants them to understand why he did what he did. So he offers to speak to the people and try to convince them with his head on the chopping block. Before he begins his speech, he goes to his neighbor Euripides' house, yes, the tragic writer dude, so that he could get a few props, a little bit to help him out, you know? The portrayal of Euripides here, poor Euripides, who is like chair-bound and wheeled around, is just so pathetic and so beautiful. It's hilarious. Dicopolis even goes so far as to call Euripides' tragic heroes lame. Oh, how heartbreaking. Now, I've read through all of Euripides' surviving plays, and I'll admit that not all of the heroes are lame, but they definitely are a lot more emotionally vulnerable than Aeschylus' or Sophocles' plays, which, you know, makes them appear a bit softer, a bit lamer. Oh my god, and his version of Electra? Okay, that was lame. Let's not argue there, shall we? Anyways, Dicopolis keeps asking Euripides for tragic props so that he might use during his speech to win over people's hearts and look like, you know, a poor beggar. And yet another funny sort of back and forth dialogue between Dicopolis and Euripides, he just keeps asking him for one more tragic prop. He's about to leave and then he's like, but wait, there is one more thing I want, Euripides, just one more thing. Okay, that's all, then he's about to leave, but wait! I just thought of something else. Give that to me now. You know, it's sort of like those late night infomercials that you see. You know, but wait, call now and we will double your order. But wait, call now and we'll take $5 off. But wait, if you call this number right now, we will resurrect your dead hamster from the grave. You know, stuff like that. Euripides, fellow, you're taking the whole tragedy. You'll slay me here. My plays are disappearing. I don't know, I thought it was really funny, but I guess you have to read the whole thing, sort of get the context around it to really get the humor out of it, but it's a really funny scene, trust me, it's great. He wins over, you know, about half the chorus once he starts giving a speech, but Lamachus, who also happens to be Dicopolis' neighbor and is a famous Athenian general, enters the stage. He's just as pompous and as war crazy as you would expect any good general to be, and, you know, Dicopolis, he's disgusted by this man's love for war, and he wants him to make him puke with the feather from his hat. Anyways, Dicopolis exposes Lamachus by saying that, you know, his real inside craving for war, it's really because he just wants money, or he just wants, you know, to fulfill some kind of duty to the people, you know. Anyways, this exposure wins over the full side of the chorus and he's allowed to keep his full peace treaty. So the very first thing that he does with this peace treaty is he sets up a trading market where he alone can trade with the Spartans because, you know, he's peace with them. Meanwhile, the fellow Athenians around him are fighting with the Spartans. Anyways, this market scene is just pure gold. Like 24 karat gold, man. First, there's a Megadian who comes up and wants to sell some piggies to Dicopolis. Well, it turns out these piggies are in fact little tiny girls. But, you know, it's Greece. It's ancient Greece. It flies. Anything flies in ancient Greece. You know, Jake from the Blues Brothers. How much do you want for the little girl? And what's interesting is that the Megadian in here has an accent. This is the first time that I've really seen a playwright try to focus on giving a character an accent, and I wonder how well that, you know, translates over. How the heck do you translate an accent? I don't know, but they did it, so it's here. Here's a snippet of that hilarious conversation. Megadian.
When you heard him skirling?
Dicopolis.
By the powers, I would indeed. Now, piggy, skirl away, you wanna skirl, you graceful sissies? By Hermes, I'll take you home again.
Girls. Wee, wee, wee! Dis-a-know a piggy. Faith, it seems so now. But 'twon't remain so for 5 years, I'm thinking. And then there's another trader who comes along and he just has like a whole bunch of animals to sell, and what Dicopolis wants is the eels, but the only thing that he's willing to trade for eels is like this certain type of Greek man. It turns out that this type of Greek man just so happens to walk by right as he requested, so the man just takes the Greek man and packs him away like a piece of pottery, you know? Okay then, yeah! Dicopolis then cooks the eel. But that was a shocking meal. In the final scene, Lamachus reappears all war-hungry, and Dicopolis appears all gluttonous in his peace. They ensue in a comic and just fantastically crafted echoing of each other's words. It's a great dialogue, beautifully crafted. But anyways, in the end, Lamachus, war-hungry Lamachus, ends up like tripping and falling on a spear or something, and He has nothing at the end. Meanwhile, Dicopolis, peace-loving Dicopolis, he has all the food he could want, and he has women. A happy man. And that is the moral of the story. Make peace, not war. But really, a fantastic comedy. I cannot wait to start reading the others of Aristophanes. Before I go, there is one thing which I would like to point out. There is a name in here, Cleon, which you probably hear get ridiculed throughout the whole play. Just a historical fun fact, Cleon, he was sort of like this political figure back in ancient Greece, and he took Aristophanes to court over one of his previous plays, so as a way of sort of getting back to him, Aristophanes insults him throughout all of his later plays. It's sort of like a running theme throughout them. And being the first comedy that I've read, I would like to point out that there are a lot of differences between comedic plays and tragic plays. It goes a lot deeper than simply one is happy and one is sad. No, there is a lot more going on than that. Tragedies are serious. Comedies, they're like absolutely bonkers. Tragedies tend to deal with what they perceive to be actually real events. Tragic heroes have a whole bunch of bad stuff happen to them, and they seldom ever get what they want. Also, tragic heroes are never commoners, they're always someone of high nobility. Comic heroes, on the other hand, or perhaps better stated, comic protagonists, aren't necessarily nobility, they can be commoners. And nothing, really bad happens to them, such is the nature of comedy. We shall have to see if this trend continues. I am indeed curious, I cannot wait. So how much did you laugh while reading this, and how much do you like Greek tragedies compared to Greek comedies? Well, I'm Jakob Stief, the LongHairedFreakyDude. Thank you for watching this book review. If you want to see more great book reviews, please check out my channel and hit the subscribe button, and please check out the Great Books of the Western World. I'm sure it is something that you will love. The Great Books Challenge, something you will love. We read through tons of great stuff there. And also, I will be going off to college soon. It's going to be a lot of money. So if you could please check out my GoFundMe and just contribute $1 or $2, it'd be incredibly helpful. I will love you forever. I'm Jakob Stief, the LongHairedFreakyDude. Thank y'all for watching. See you in the next video. It feels so much better. That was not part of the conversation. That was almost all over the floor. Mojo! 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 The light bulb burnt out, gosh darn you. I've got the power. The energy is coursing through my veins. Isn't there something for that, like a term like ELP, electric light pole system or something? Syndrome? Maybe? I don't know. Either way, I must be magical. That's the only explanation. How many long-haired freak dudes does it take to screw in a light bulb? Let's find out. That's bright. Goodness gracious. Oh my lord, I think that is a few watts brighter than the last bulb. Oh my lord! Hallelujah! Oh, I am blind. Woo! I cannot see a thing. Alright, let's see how this goes. Woo! And that's okay, Mojo. You don't need to be scared. It's alright, buddy. I'm just screaming at the light bulb, okay?